Arkansas. And we'll get 3 of them. We'll get 3 of them crankshaves in this box here. See how it works out. Crankshaves. Get them. There's one. Two. Oh, that's not too bad. I put a little felt right there. On that cutout right there. I'll put a little felt pad on each one of them right there. I think that's the way to carry a crankshaft or 2. And we got 17 of them to get up there. Yeah, I was entertaining the idea of building a box to carry 4, but I think the weight, I think 3, even 2 possibility of how much wood it takes, you know, just to build a crate to carry 2 each. I think that would be more sensible, but this 3's not bad. Hey, good afternoon out there in radio land. I show you starting already in progress, moving this Grizzly Lathe. It's a G9972Z. It's got them things there on it and a calendar looking thing right there, a graph. It's got some numbers and gear sizes and pitches and all of that stuff right there. It's in the book, and this graph up here. It was over here. Man, somebody in the audience there acting up. But not to be interrupted, we're going to get this on the floor. It was over here. The lathe was right here. I'm gonna bring you up to where we at now. You not missed a lot. But I pinched that lathe by different lengths of pipe, put it here, and then pinch it on, and got it around there where it's at. Right here in this position. And I done a preliminary hook up and lift up. So, so you'll know about this if you kind of was going to move your lathe and you was a little bit hesitant, you know, just hook something up and get it done. What I done there is I put a piece of pipe in that chuck. It's a 3-jaw. Just tightened it up kind of lightly. It's a piece of water pipe. I don't know what size it is. There's no blueprint. And then down here on this end, I had welded up, you know, so you'll get the picture. I had welded a 14mm spark plug fitting on the end of that pipe right there to screw that down in a head to get the head off of an engine. Use it as a slide hammer. So I had that on the sideboard over there. I put it in there and run that tailstock up there and tightened it up, and then put just no pressure on it, but made contact to steady that pipe going across through there between chuck and tailstock. Now, I'm not advising you to do any of this right here. This is not advice for you to do it. This is just what's going on here in my world. You know. This is where that milling machine right here, where that Vision, well, we had 2 or 3 projects right here that we did right here that's world famous, but not to be off on no side trip. This is the main subject right here, is to get this down on the floor down here. So So what I done is I brought it around. I put this lathe up here years ago. And what I done, I snatched it around there to where it's at now. I got this, that's one of them yeller, it's one of them nylon straps. It's a real thick one that's rated for a lot of tonnage. I found it on the road. No, no, somebody give me that. It's a good one. It had a tag on it, but it didn't have any writing on it. It had already faded, so I don't know what the tonnage is, but it's a pretty good one. But it's got long eyes on it right there. So what I done is I put that piece of pipe in that eye there, and in that eye over there, because it's the correct length. Run it down underneath that carriage of the bed, the whole thing. And then I used the carriage here. I'll show you this. See, right there it is. So I'm going to put a lift. I think it's vertical. Up. I'm going to go up with it. Okay, now y'all watch this when it comes loose from making contact. Okay, see it's off of the metal there for about almost ½ inch there, and down here it's a touch it. Now watch this. All I have to do is to run this cross slide up here and see it come out there. It's perfectly scaled. It's in balance. You know, at this point, you know, I'm gonna go out on a limb here and use English that they say I shouldn't be using on YouTube because it influences the young kids. But you know, in my world, this lathe right here is plumb. You know what I mean? It's even with the world. It's balanced right there. And I mean, you can even fine tune it up here if you feel it's not right. Okay, now when we got the lathe off, so that proves that everything is steady and all. And the reason for this top bar right here, write this down in the side over there in that selvage in your book. This is only for steadying the unit, because when you make a hook up low on a weight on an object, it'll be top heavy. So this right here was only to keep this lathe, if it wanted to, from tipping over, from incorrect. And I know you're going to say I need to support it from each end with a triangle thing right here, and you're probably right. It's just I don't have one. So what am I going to do? Stand here just wishing I had a triangle? Or am I going to do this? I'll show you. I'm going to put that on the balance. See? Okay, now I'm going to lock that down there where it don't move. Because it's in perfectly balanced right there. Okay, I'm going to lay this back. Okay, see, I was in plumb right there. When this lathe was hanging on this chain right here, that chain and the lathe, the whole unit, the lathe acting as a plumb bob. That's a good example in this instance. But that would be the correct use of something being in plumb. Is this whole unit right here, once it's swinging in midair, it's plumb. So it's back down on the ground there with some slack. Okay, now what I need to do is to move this lathe this way enough to work when I let it down, it'll miss the workbench. So, you know, I mean, you can measure it, you can get on the ladder up there, do something up there like that right there and see how many inches it is and all that right there. And you can come down here with something level or something. You can do this right here, or you can get it done, you know. So, that's where that's at now in plumb. Okay, see, so I need to come out here, well, I mean, you do need to know about the center line of the lathe. And see, looking at it from this way, it's more than what you imagine from looking at it that way. So, the center line being right here, but from here back here to the front's about 6 inches, and from here to the back is a good foot, a good 12 inches. So I want to position that up there more than a foot. You know what I mean? So when I lift it up and it swings out, then I can let it straight down. That's what we're going for. So I'm gonna look up there on that pipe. That's a 2-inch schedule lady, and I think it's got 1 1/4 inch inside of it. It's really strong, but it's got some paint splatters on it. So I'm just gonna look up there and imagine that that second one right there, third over, is more than a foot. So that's how much I have to move that out. So okay, see, I think that's enough. But I give it a little more. I give it about 2 inches more because it might have a little slippage in it. And I mean, I'm gonna stay out of the way. Don't be feared. Might be some camera angle involved in it at some point. And now, I mean, inspect your chainage up there and make sure everything's right before you go lifting that off the bench. Just don't go helter-skelter on it. You know what I mean? So we got a good fit there. I got a bolt in up there that's good. I see threads sticking out, so that's good. Them's grade 8 bolts. It's new chain. 3/8, I think. It's right here smaller, but that's a high test chain I think they use on the chain hoist. But okay. Now the pan should fall free and make some sort of racket. So, you know, if you don't want to deal with that sound of that pan falling, do your ears up with your thumbs. Right then. And even the chip pan didn't fall. You know, once you have lifted the unit off of any contact of anything, then when it falls, it's going to go almost straight down along Now the pan should fall free and make some sort of racket. So, you know, if you don't want to deal with that sound of that pan falling, do your ears up with your thumbs. in. And even the chip pan didn't fall. But you know, once you have lifted the unit off of any contact of anything, then when it falls, it's going to go almost straight down. A large object, at least. You know, that's about the best way to clean a chip pan right there that I ever seen. Get that over in Middle Tennessee. Man, I'm gonna have to get some electricity. Okay. See, I'm looking at it from all four sides. You know what I mean? End to end, side to side. So I'm looking at it, and I'm going to say that at this point it's 4 inches. A good 4 inches in all areas, free of any contact with anything. So I'm gonna let it down on the floor, and them chips right there. That's when I made them cast on wheels that time. I recognize that dust. And it's free, and we'll get that on that trailer there in the morning.